Hey everybody, this is Brian Kahanek from myvideosongs.com, and I want to kind of give you a little slide tutorial today. And this is a metal body Dobro, which I think I prefer more than the wooden, just because it's got a more of an aggressive kind of sound. I like to have that zing on the top of the note. And I've got this guitar tuned to an open D tuning. You've got a D here, you've got an A here, you've got D here, F sharp here, A, and D. And the whole thing is really kind of based around just really three chords, the 1, 4, and the 5 chords. You've got your 1 chord, which is just, that's your D, and you're going to slide up, and slide up to the 5th fret here, which is going to make your 4 chord, okay? And then the 5 chord, your A is right there. So you're basically playing the chord with the slide, and this is just moving the nut around on the guitar is all the slide really does. And what I'm doing though, it's real kind of important to mix your fingers and your pick here. It kind of depends upon what you want to do. If you want to get a little more nasty and a little grittier with it and kind of make some more noise, you want to kind of flip over to the pick and... But if you want to play a finger, you can get up there and you kind of get the chicken picking thing here, and you get up there. Right? And how I'm keeping it clean is kind of a combination of things. The biggest thing is I like to wear on my slide when I'm playing really electric or acoustic slide, is I like to wear my slide on my ring finger, and I keep it right above that knuckle, so I can bend it in and I can still play, fretted notes if I want to and kind of do that, but at the same time, I can just switch right over to the slide and it's right there. And the biggest thing is I support the slide with my pinky and my index finger here, actually excuse me, my middle finger here, and I just keep it balanced there, so it's not going to move around, and I got real control so it won't slap around on the frets and get all that nasty noise. And really I think the key to real clean slide playing after that is you're sliding it up the neck, and your index finger, first finger here, is following along, muting behind it. So really you're only catching the strings with the slide that you want to hear. If I played, for instance, if I just went, which is cool if you want to get that real kind of nasty. What the difference is when you mute with the index finger is this. It's a real kind of night and day feel to it, And I'm mixing in a lot of kind of banjo licks and kind of country licks in the middle of this, because it's got that kind of country hoedown rhythm, but at the same time it's got a real kind of Delta blues feel to it. And I'm going to add basically a major suspension here. And you'll see when I'm coming up here, I'm just playing the octave. I'm just up here playing the D. All those notes are coming out of the pentatonic scale for the most part. And really the trick to it is when you're playing in open tunings, you got to spend a lot of time, figuring out where the sweet spots are, especially with this F sharp here in the middle will throw you off if you're not careful. And you can hit one of those clams in there. It's like, that's not the right one. So you got to be kind of careful in that third string to make sure you're transposing it right. And then kind of some of the other highlights of what I just played earlier, I think is, I'm doing a lot of, I love the chicken pick and the claw, and I get a lot of that from Albert Lee and, some great country players. Vince Gill's one of my favorite players. He's amazing. Brad Paisley's great. Some of the new guys are amazing. Then you got Mark Knopfler, which is, I think, tops for me in tone and taste and all that. So they all play, really great. And I think the biggest thing is like I like to intermingle that stuff. So it's not just straight slide, but you've got a little kind of a variety. And I'll pull in a lick like this. So some of the kind of the elements that I'm using and the licks that I'm using for some of the turnarounds, I like to add some of the chicken picking stuff in there. And what I'm going to do is, it's kind of one of those things you really kind of got to be cognizant of the fact that your guitar is tuned a little differently, and you have to move the scales around. So it's going to take a little time for you to get the lay of the land with the new tuning. But just in this tuning in particular, this is a really cool little turnaround here. It's and so a little bit slower. That's and it's, you're just basically playing the top two notes and you're picking just like this. You're tucking the pick away and you just. Another one I really dig is if you want to kind of come from the bass side of it and turn it around on the bass side, it's kind of, you get some really nasty little quarter step bends and something like this. Same kind of motif, that feel, that kind of bump and turn around, the bump, 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 But not with that note. So that kind of, gives you a place to go when you're going to turn the phrase and make the turnaround on the blues. And, just, kind of getting into some influences with slide guitar that really kind of brought me into wanting to play slide. I mean, it's just obviously from the sound and that singing, crying tone, it's heartbreaking almost. But some of the players that really brought me in were more kind of contemporary until I found some of the older guys. The guy who really turned me on was a guy by the name of Chris Whitley, and his record Living with the Law had a different spin on that, and it was kind of a new earth blues that he was playing, and I highly recommend you get that record. It's just incredible. And then you got like modern masters like Derek Trucks, Warren Haynes, and guys like that are out there just singing with it too, and their tone is impeccable. But then you kind of follow it back where they picked it up from, and you get into Elmore James and Robert Johnson, you get right back to that, and you can spend the rest of your life learning, playing great slide and great dobro, and I think Robert Johnson proved that, you can spend, what is it, I can't remember how many tunes that he did, but it's the rest of your life trying to figure out how to sing and play and do all that at the same time. But anyway, with enough of the yakking, let me do a little more playing for you, play it out here, and I'm going to add a couple little different ideas in here and play a little more single note stuff so you kind of get an idea of how I'm doing it. I'm doing a lot of the chicken picking on the single note patterns. Playing a sixth here, the second and the fourth string. You can kind of tell the difference between playing with your fingers or playing with a pick, Has just kind of a different feel. It's really a matter of choice and kind of I guess whatever your proclivity is of what your ear is going to hear and what you want. So here's a little something on the way out. Hey, this is Brian Kahanek, and this is the rhythm part to Gemini. So this is the intro lead to Gemini, slow. Use these two fingers. And you're going to play the E major triad there.